Now, WNWY reports across the globe from What's News with You, with comedians Josh Johnson and Ashley Gavin, and you, our reporters in the field. What's News with You?
You guys are paying attention to the crack? I feel like I just know. You just know.
You just know.
I feel like
Nah, I pay attention
you just
to the crack.
know. Like you can feel it when you twist it off.
Ashley Gavin overdosed on fentanyl.
Yeah, that's wild. You just know.
You just know.
No, I need double confirmation. I gotta hear it and I gotta feel it in all the little strips popping.
I like looking at it too. If it's attached.
Honestly,
You
when the
guys grew up with a level of safety that was different than mine. I think.
No,
I think
we
it's the
grew up
lack
with
of
dirty
safety.
water.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
like
what I'm saying.
dirty
No, I was
water.
safe.
This okay. So you see
No,
this right
what are
here?
the odds that it was already open?
There are odds. It could be already open.
Oh, you don't remember that trend from like 2017 where people would like open the scope and do the scope on video and then spit the scope back into the scope bottle and then put it back on the shelf?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
That's because you was drinking nasty scope.
It's foggy.
Yeah.
I don't have good memory of that time.
No,
2017, what happened?
That Bluebell ice cream was the same way. That person got I can't remember if they got arrested or they got fined heavily, but they made a video of them like in Walmart, open the Bluebell ice cream, rip the thing, lick the whole thing.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
Back. Yeah. People are insane.
Why would it? Okay.
Ooh, why
You
does
remember that time the person that worked at Taco Bell, they took a shit inside the burrito? No, I'm lying. I'm not. That's crazy.
I eat so much Taco Bell.
Me too.
I don't know.
It's my favorite fast food.
You guys don't know this
how
pod's
well
sponsored by Taco Bell.
You know Eagle, but there's a light that comes in Eagle's eyes when he's lying. There's like
joy.
There's like a genuine twinkle in his eyes when he's like, ooh, I'm about to sell you something. It's a wolf ticket, and I hope you buy it. No. As soon as he was looking at me, I was like, this one didn't happen.
I knew you knew.
The thing about this stuff, though, is that old myth that they told you when you were kids, like, oh, you ingest this many spiders a year just to sleep.
Oh yeah,
and
like
they
8
crawl in your
spiders
mouth.
with your mouth.
I think that's kind of how I look at this stuff, because it's like I'm gonna drink already open water apparently, and I just have to be a human being in the world ingesting spiders.
So,
there's a certain amount of spider that's going to get...
I know I'm flawed as a human being because I will check the crack of the seal, but I've had so much unprotected sex with strangers.
I was about to say, how many times have you not used a condom?
But I'll check a seal, though. I'll check a seal like, yo, this water better be new, And I've risked my life.
Right? You cross the street without looking.
In Louisiana, one of the most jarring examples to what we're talking about I can think of is there was this dude who lived, I think he lived down the street from my grandma or something like that, but he a baby alligator had crawled into his car.
Mm-hmm.
And so, animal control had to come and everything. And it was like almost the size of this table,
mm-hmm.
right? So it wasn't like a full grown one. And then apparently after they got it, because it almost bit him, like he opened the door and it was like, and then after they take it away, he's like, I think it pooped in my car. And I was like, that's literally the least of your worries. Like, you almost lost your leg. Like, that's such an insane thing for you to be like, I can't believe the audacity. It's like such an insane thing that it's like, this is your top priority. That it bit at you. Like, your life didn't flash before your eyes. The poop doesn't really matter, I
would say, though, if animal control is coming, you could at least look for poop. Or let me know.
Does animal control take the poop?
I was gonna say,
with
I don't
them?
know if that's their job.
Yeah,
though.
I feel like they're more concerned with
we move the
closing.
animal.
Yeah, I feel like they're more concerned with closing the mouth
Is
of
this
the animal.
taxpayer dollars?
I don't know.
Because if it is, I feel like I'd want the poop. I want the poop out. If I paid,
You know what? Also is probably he's like, did it poop in my car?
Well, you
So
gotta.
he doesn't.
What is alligator poop like, please? Because I don't know what reptile poops are like.
Yeah.
I'm picturing some like a white poop for some
Yeah,
reason.
I'm getting
like
bird,
a white ball,
bird.
like something
Yeah.
that comes out solid, maybe.
Like an egg.
Well, some poop from some animals is more
That-
solid. Like
that
it
would
comes
be
out and it's like
wild.
bloop, and it's just like a. Was I right? Oh,
Look at you go.
That's
Yeah.
like
Wow.
that is actually incredible.
Yeah.
Because you grew
Damn.
up here, right?
yeah.
There's no reason you should know that.
Yeah.
But I guess this could also be. That's crazy.
Huh.
Weird.
Why is he?
Oh,
why with
man.
no glove? Why? Why would you hold the poop with
That's
no
so
glove?
crazy.
This is crazy.
That's
insane.
Can I just
and
say
that
this?
that was a fresh poop. That
all
one.
of
Yeah.
all of those hands are white on both
Yes,
sides.
I was about to say.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of white people handling poop, is what we're learning from this.
This
Even
is
just TikToks.
insane.
I don't know if this is alligator poop, but it's
Yeah, are you
certainly white
verifying
hand.
what
I bet
type of
you
poop
if you
this is, please?
Googled black hand holding alligator poop, it would turn
Alex,
up nothing.
It
make sure
would-
you're out of my browser and please Google black hand alligator poop.
It would have to be AI.
Yeah,
I think even
wouldn't
when I
buy
saw it, I wouldn't believe it. Like the knuckles would be on the wrong side.
it's just gonna be a white person with a black glove on. And it's
Yeah.
like that's not what we were looking for at all.
yeah.
At least the initial images are AI, and it's not. It's just a black man fighting alligators. Is what?
Are
came
you sure
up
that's
with it.
AI?
That one is 100% AI because it took the internet by storm and no one knew it was AI. And everyone started looking for the guy, and the guy doesn't exist
Well,
because
him
he's
eating
AI.
pizza with
Josh,
the
is there a
alligators
single thing
is-
on the internet that you haven't categorized into your
All the things
This
that I'm
guy
wrong
is,
about, for
this
sure.
guy is probably at least touch poop. Maybe he's probably not going to be caught. You know, let me see if I can. You know, this guy's throwing alligators.
Yeah.
You don't think he's going to
That's
touch
upsetting.
the poop
Nope,
once in a
I
while?
don't think he touched poop. I don't think he touched poop.
Well, I'm really proud of my people. And I think they've been doing a great job collecting the poop. And I look down upon that animal control worker that can't be a white guy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
a white guy animal worker would have been like, "Give me that fucking poop."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He would have gotten it, I think.
I mean,
He would have at least been like, look out for the poop.
this is something where I have to, tip my hat. And yes, I think that potentially 99, maybe even 100% of all of the alligator and crocodile handling is white.
It is.
It's a white industry.
Yeah,
It's a white
it's white
industry.
excellence. And I
There would never be DEI in that whatsoever. It's a job where they're like, "No, just go ahead."
Oh man.
this happens every time, Eagle.
Also, for those of you watching, listening, this is What's News with You, the news show about everything that's not in the news.
Yeah, we
And
forgot to
today
do
we're
that.
joined by our guest anchor, Eagle Witt. Let's get into it. Wasn't it Jake Tapper, somebody that would always say in his news reports, "Let's get after it"?
Yeah, I think that's Jake Tapper.
"Let's get after it" would crack me up. I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? This isn't sports.
Passionate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
What's news with you, Eagle?
Oh, micro. Oh, you know what? I got waves for the first time.
What's waves?
really?
Yeah,
Just now?
yeah,
Ever?
yeah. But let me explain.
What's waves?
Yo, let's just keep going. So
I
got
feel like
waves.
I think I know. I feel like I think I know.
So this is so fun watching Ashley be like, "Wait,
Is it
what?"
a black thing?
I wonder. So, whispering
Is
to
it a black thing?
whispering and saying it, the
Is it
regular normal is going to be the same. It's both us. Like we're both.
Is it a boy thing?
So when did
It's
your
gotta be
waves come
either a
in?
black thing or a boy
So
thing.
this is what happened, bro.
Yeah.
So I had tried to get waves when I first cut my hair.
I knew it because you came in and your hair looked different, but I don't know you well enough to comment on that.
So I tried to get waves the first time I cut my hair,
Mhm.
but so my friend growing up, he had the most amazing waves ever, right? And he always does to this day. So when I first got my hair, I hit him up. I was like, "Bro, how do you do this?" Right? And he's like, well, you got to get this like certain pomade. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. So I was like doing it, right? And my hair turned out straight because I'm mixed.
Mm-hmm.
So my curl pattern's different. So I'm brushing, I'm doing all these different things, the wave grease and all that. And I showed up to the cellar, and Richards and Derek Gaines, they start making fun of me. They go, nigga, you only have 2 waves in your head. Because my hair was becoming straight from doing the method he used. So then I grew some curls. I said, all right, whatever, I'm not going to do that. And then I tried again, and something told me like, well, let me just not do any product.
Yeah.
Because I don't need it, because my curls are looser.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it worked.
Wow.
So I'm very proud of myself that I figured out how to get waves as a mixed person.
Figuring out your hair is such a it's such a process.
I thought it was the same for everybody.
Yeah,
I'm that
it's
dumb.
really
I was
not.
just like, oh, I guess we all do the same thing.
Yeah, because like I have mixed hair, not racially.
But you have different patterns in your scalp.
I have straight on, kind of on top, and I have pretty curly like
in the back.
back here. So trying to get it to all have a nice wave together, it took years to figure that out. Yeah, I used to straighten my hair and stuff like that, and now I really have to just leave it alone and let it, honestly, like,
Just let it do whatever it does. I
I
see that
thin
it curls on that side in the back.
I it's not great right now, but yeah, I have to dry it a certain way. It's much more about what I don't do.
You ever had waves, Josh?
There was one period when I had
It's a process.
very short hair as a kid that it looked like they were almost about to come in, but I just didn't have the like level of dedication, and then my curl pattern just didn't.
I
don't
didn't
know.
realize it was such a thing that you had to do.
Oh my God! Whenever you see a
Yeah.
black dude with waves, he worked on it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
actually that
I
is-
should go up to him and go, "Nice waves."
He'll be like, "Wait, what?" You're like,
Great
"Don't even worry
waves.
about it. Don't even worry about it. Just know I know."
Yeah.
He's like, "What the fuck?"
Look, I just want you to know that I get you. Okay. You know, we both have to do a lot for our waves to come in correctly.
He's like, I don't know. If she
Because I've
gets
seen
it.
you with pretty short hair.
Yeah, but I only once in life, and I didn't try for that long either. And just like the way that this is what gets me about waves is that when you still get your hair cut, it's not like you're starting all over, but you are like taking 2 steps back for 1 step forward because
Yes.
you have to get your hair used to it. So you have to work on it a lot, but you're still getting haircuts in between that, depending on whatever like fade you get, could set you back.
If the barber doesn't know what they're doing, you're fucked.
Yeah. So I never really got into waves like hard.
It's the first time I've ever done it, and it's been so fun. I think
Yeah.
I just miss having long hair. I just miss doing
Your hair
things with
was
my hair.
so long.
Yeah.
Why'd you cut
Really,
your
really
hair?
long.
It's too much work.
It's so much work.
It was just too much work. I mean, you guys remember, I don't know if you guys could tell back then, but my hair was always tangled. It was always like in
Oh,
a
really?
knot. Like I would
I
put it in a
couldn't tell.
bun so it probably looked nice. You know, I have like full
Yeah.
hair, but like it was tangled. It was a mess.
With girls, what do you think they like better?
You know what? Split.
Yeah.
Very split.
Mm.
I will say this. There are girls that go, I'll never be with a dude who has long hair. There's no girls that go, I'll never be with a dude who has short hair.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do women not want to do it with long hair?
I don't know.
I think it probably challenges their sense of like what kind of masculinity they're attracted to. Like, I think it challenges. Not that you
Yeah.
were like
No, but it's true.
gender fluid.
No, but it's true.
But like, I think it's like, girls can be toxic about that a little bit with men and femininity.
Oh, gosh.
It's not a high amount, but there are women that
Sure.
would be like,
Yeah.
if you had short hair when I had long hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's still like an even split, I'd say. Some girls like short hair, some girls like long hair.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Should I do my news?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went, so for the past 2 weekends, I have been touring in cities while those cities have had their pride. So I was in Cleveland for Cleveland Pride, and then I was in Sacramento for Sacramento Pride. I'm not a big pride guy.
Okay. Okay.
What?
No, just there's. I know something else is coming, but it's like when someone starts the rant and you can feel it coming.
I'm all
Do you know
in.
what I mean?
I'm not even.
I'm not saying this is.
You're
bad.
all in?
I'm all in to see where this is going.
Well,
Yeah.
no, there's no real take on pride with this other than I don't need pride.
Okay.
I don't need it. My
Oh,
life
okay.
is so gay. My,
This is what Akeem says.
my life is so fucking gay.
Yeah.
But I understand why someone in Cleveland needs pride. In
Sure.
fact, Cleveland needs pride so bad.
We don't need pride in New York.
No.
It's New York is overly. It's proud every day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very
It's
proud.
so it's such a tightrope to walk to like be like we don't need pride.
I'm not saying
And
we
then-
shouldn't have it.
well,
I'm saying we don't need it.
I
No,
was gonna ask you guys, when was the last time you guys went to pride?
Well, I go every year.
I
go to Pride every
Oh.
year. Swear to God, I go to Pride every year. Every single year, I go to Pride.
wow.
What do you
Yeah,
do?
if I can, unless I'm on the road or something, I go to
Josh?
Pride.
Honestly, I don't
When
think
was the last time you've been to pride?
I don't think I've been in
You
2
hate
years.
gay people. No,
You
I'm
hate
just
gay
playing.
people.
Wow.
I was
Yeah.
fully expecting neither of you to have ever been to pride.
Oh, I go every
No,
year.
no.
I feel guilty.
If I'm on the road, I don't go. But if
I've
I'm
been
here,
a
I go.
bunch. Yeah.
What do you guys do at pride?
Well, I'm toxic. I'm fully toxic.
I
Every time I've ever gone to Pride, it was like to I don't know, have threesomes with lesbian couples or something. Like I mean, I'm very supportive. Like I like gay people. I'm
Is-
like, oh,
is
good.
that
I'm happy y'all niggas is lit. You know what I mean? And I like joke with the gay dudes, but like it's definitely to flirt with lesbian couples.
Is it support?
I thought you were going a totally different
Huh?
direction.
Is it support? Like you're
That
using
is kind of support.
you're
No.
using your penis.
Some lesbian couples are like, we want to have a moment with a dude. That's support.
Can I just clarify for the audience? When he says lesbian couples, he's talking about two bisexual women. I don't care what they told you.
I like that you're the one saying this. I would never say that, but Ashley, you have every right to.
What kind of
This is the first time I've ever felt like a white person who hears like a black person say something with like nigga in it, and they go, well, I can't say that, but you go ahead.
No, it's just that sexuality is hard and complicated and you had long hair and you're
I did have long hair when I was doing this.
A lesbian couple
I
for
did
you.
have long hair when I was doing
it's like
this.
you're not grabbing.
No.
You're just at Pride
At Pride, waiting to be chose.
to be chosen.
So
That's it.
People are doing wild things. Like it is a time of year to experiment and do wild things. Now, usually I'm the experiment, but Eagle, if you're the experiment, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
yeah. Okay.
And you're a handsome guy.
I've never felt so connected to you, Ashley.
No, you and I are both like really horny. So I think you and I probably have similar.
Yeah, whenever I went to Pride, I mostly just like waved. You know what I mean? Like people on
did
the
you
float.
like go
Really?
with friends?
Yeah, we go with friends.
With gay friends.
Yeah, yeah. And then they would like
You have
we
gay
would-
friends?
We would high five. Yeah.
Every
yeah.
time I try to go to
What?
Pride with my gay friends, they react like Ashley. They go, I don't do Pride. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, but you're gay. And they're like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just go and like, hopefully a lesbian couple likes me.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what I would my only take. Well, this was great. I did not expect this. This was beautiful. This was really beautiful. I thought you were gonna say I'm toxic in that I flirt with men. Like
No, I
thought-
do that too.
Yeah.
I do that too. I like to flirt with gay dudes.
Eagle
Yeah.
does
It's very fun.
everything that is toxic.
Yeah.
That is like surface level, like docile too.
Yeah, sure.
Like he'll like, cause who are you flirting with? You were flirting with a dude one time that he was like, stop playing with my feelings.
Oh, I remember this.
We were in like New York Comedy Club,
We were hanging out.
and he was like, no, don't, don't. And then you were like, who's playing? Like he was landing on thick.
right.
Yeah, like
And
I'll
it's
pretend
fun.
to be gay.
Well,
like it's fun.
It's fun because you can really push the limits of flirting because you
Yeah.
know nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing's gonna happen. This is max flirt.
Right.
And I'll let them flirt. And it's gotta be fun for them to flirt too. They're like, he's cute. It's
It
flirting.
feels taboo. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't usually do this.
And also in the back of their mind, they're like, oh, maybe. And I'm like, no. But they don't have to know that in the moment. They can have fun. Bro,
What a
out in
toxic
public
king.
flirting.
Yeah.
I like flirting with gay dudes. I flirt with my gay friends a lot. They get mad. They don't like it. Yeah, they don't like it.
It's a little bit when it's like recurring, but I don't usually with straights. I don't. All women are bisexual now.
When Akeem calls me, I pick up and I go, hey, daddy. And he goes, like that's the sound that comes out like.
Well, what I was going to say about Pride is all these corporations pulled out of Pride this year, which is funny because, gays, we were always talking shit about corporate pride. We're like, fuck corporate pride, like, all this stuff. You don't really mean it. And they didn't. They didn't mean it. They were just sort of using it as social capital, or we don't really know what they think. They're just afraid of Donald Trump and whatever. But the corporations that stayed in Pride, I now have so much respect for. So now I'm like kind of fucking with Procter and Gamble. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see a world
that's
where I
so
saw the
wild.
Dawn dish soap samples at Pride.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Stick it to the man. You're here at Pride.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I never thought I'd be that gay. That was like,
now,
all right, Target.
Is it everyone who who stayed, or there's still a couple you don't? Are you like, man, BlackRock really solid? Like I like what private equity does. Or are you more like,
I didn't look up the full list.
Look at because the Dawn thing would make sense to me. You're like, oh, okay, like a brand that is not top of mind, but is like still either donating for the first time while others are pulling out, or not pulling out while others are pulling out. And I feel like that is, if you're ever gonna get the social capital, you gotta do it the way that people do stocks. You gotta
get in when it's bad, when
you're
early
fearful
and bad.
when others are greedy. You're greedy when others are fearful. So this.
No, it made me want to buy Dawn dish soap. Like I was really fucking with Procter and Gamble.
And the ducks, yo.
The ducks for sure.
Ducks.
For sure.
The ducks.
Yeah. Should we go to our field correspondents?
Oh yes, we should check in with our correspondents out there in the world doing the great work of bringing the news to us.
They're also doing the great work of paying us for this privilege at patreon.com/WNWY.
And I am definitely not saying anything awful here.
Oh man.
We're
basically just plugging patreon.com/WNWY and not saying anything heinous.
There's a lot of this you're gonna have to cut, okay? this section right here.
See the problem.
Like right here, you can cut back in where we're like looking at the camera.
You can
help us not say anything illegal.
Okay. then cut right back here where I'm like telling you, oh man, the field correspondents, great people.
They're wonderful people.
Thank you so much for the hard work that you do. We appreciate you.
That you put in for us, so I cannot say bad things.
You may not be able to cut everything that needs to be cut, but we'll get somewhere. Let's check in with you. Correspondents in the field. How you doing?
Yeah. And this first one isn't just a correspondent, it's it's one of our executive producers on our Patreon. This story coming in. This is a story from our executive producer, Ajay.
Something really crazy happened on Saturday, and I had to talk about it because it's the only thing that was interesting in my life so far. So I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do any of that. But I decided to take an edible on Saturday for the first time, for real. And I was tripping balls, you guys. Like, it was so bad. So hilarious for me, but so bad. And there's ring camera footage of it. And I started off with a bang, crying, laughing, worried I don't have any arms. I'm like, do I have arms? Can someone tell me if I have arms? My sister has taken 5 shroom gummies. Okay, so we're both just out of our minds right now. And I'm like, prove that I have arms. So she slaps me on the arm.
Pause
I'm like,
it.
Okay.
That does sound like Descartes to me.
Like what?
Prove that I have arms.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to prove whether or not you have arms.
Oh, yeah.
There's really just, I trip, therefore I am.
Yeah, or if somebody shot you in the arm, you'd be like, yep, it's here. It's here.
Yeah, you can like pinch someone, right? I think.
I mean, that's
But
what
I think
she
that
does is slap the arm,
You
right?
could mentally trick yourself into being like, no, I have a phantom pain.
Oh.
Like, how do I truly know that I have arms as opposed to I'm in an experience machine that's giving me arms?
Okay.
I
all
just
right.
want to say we're doing the serious philosophical work on this podcast.
Yeah, and I do think being shot would answer all those questions.
So Josh's response is they should have shot this bitch.
No.
Josh, I heard you loud and
No,
clear.
no.
You said
I
they
agree.
should have shot this
He's
bitch.
always
What?
saying problematic things like
Very
that.
problematic
No.
things.
Yeah.
As long as I've known Josh,
Yeah,
he's said
he is a
very
really
problematic things. He's
yeah.
a problematic guy.
Yeah.
The idea that you two are so one that you're on the same wavelength about everything.
I mean, come on. And let me tell you
without no.
something. You know that we're onto something because on record, I've never agreed with a white woman before. So clearly,
Yeah, but you know.
we're onto something.
You know that inside, in many ways, I am a man.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. This is a white man.
But we're having a good time.
I've had so much fun. This is really fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep going.
I usually don't have fun on pods.
Oh,
This is really fun.
we try to be good at it. I love podcasts.
But I have arms, so she slaps me on the arm. I'm like, okay. And then I can barely get up. I'm like sunk into the couch. It's crazy. I have my huge ass bonnet on. My hands are covering my face. And I'm like, I feel like I have a helmet on, guys. I feel like I have a helmet on. No helmet in sight. I'm so hungry that there's pizza. I go to start crawling on the floor to get to pizza. Don't think the floor is real, so I'm tapping the floor. If you guys want me to send you videos of this from the Ring camera footage, I can.
Yes!
But it was insane, okay? And I just thought that was so funny. And it's probably one of the most interesting things to happen to me in my 30 years of life. So I just thought it would make for a good laugh, to tell you.
I do think you shouldn't be allowed to get high for the first time when you're 30.
So you think by 29 or that's it?
I think that you need to get high for the first
Didn't you
time.
get high at the first time after 30?
Yeah, let's talk about that another time. That I'm saving that footage.
But maybe that's why you're saying this from your
well,
experience.
the thing is, like, I took a weed gummy specifically for my pain. I have chronic pain. It did not work. Just FYI, taking a weed gummy for your chronic pain just makes you a little more philosophical about pain. Doesn't make the pain go away. You're just like, what is this vibe in my hip?
I want to do I want to
Yeah.
do crack when I'm like multi-millionaire. I do crack.
Right. I would do shrooms like later
That
in
is
life.
like where Elon is now. Like he's richest
Yeah, I
man
think
in the
you just
world, and
described
he's
Elon
like,
Musk.
and he's like, I'll take some mushrooms with a side of ketamine.
Well, I always
Yeah.
say the reason we don't do crack. Hear
Yeah.
me out, right? If you really get
Who's
to the
we?
core, people.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason, I mean, obviously not everyone would do it. Like I've never done any drugs or alcohol, so I probably wouldn't realistically do it.
Yeah.
But the reason people who do drugs don't do crack is simply because of the concept of I'll suck your dick, baby. Like in the back of our heads, we go, oh, we be sucking dick for crack if we were doing crack. Because that's like that's like a thing. It's like a joke.
I'm so confident in my ability to not suck dick.
What is that? Like
I
if you
really-
did crack,
What
you
does that
still
mean?
wouldn't
I
suck dick. you're
really
saying.
don't think that there's anything that could get me to suck dick.
Oh, people are also like this is
You just glaze over this.
No,
You're
no,
just like,
no.
I can't even address this.
no. This is in line with what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
People forget this. This is why I think a lot of people are good natured at heart. People forget you could also stab for crack. Like the whole thing of like, ooh, I will.
That's true. You could could do violent robberies.
Yeah,
for crack.
you could do violent
That's
robberies.
true. You don't
and
have to suck
people
dick
are-
for crack. You don't have to cause orgasms for crack. You're being a nice person.
Yeah,
That's a good.
Humans are inherently
And
good.
and so I think that Ashley being like, I would never do that. It's like, yeah, I get that. Like you would never like.
You think I'd stab?
I think it's a possibility.
Okay.
I think I'm not saying you would go right to
He's
stab.
homophobic.
No. I'm just. I think that you.
Homophobic.
No.
He's saying
I
just
think you
because
would-
I would preserve my lesbian identity.
No.
This is getting messy.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Okay.
Feels like
How
homophobic.
you going back out of this one, Josh?
You to me would not be someone who like goes down on anyone for the crack. You would ask nicely, you'd be like, hey, I'm looking for my next hit of crack. I don't have any money. Can I procure some capital from you?
Where'd the stabbing
Right?
come in?
And then they would be like, no, actually get out of here. I don't give money to people who do crack. And then you would be like, oh, okay, well, I tried. poke, poke, poke.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't even think you would go straight to savage. I think you would ask nicely. You would be like, hey, look,
Now,
I
do
really...
you disagree? Would you eat a coochie for some crack?
Of course I would eat a coochie for crack.
Your logic fell then, Josh.
Okay, all right. Willing to take that one.
Wait, but I say all this to say, if you have enough money,
Mm-hmm.
you'll do crack because you like, well, I don't have to do anything crazy for it. I have the money. And crackheads are fit. They almost never die. They're very talented, right? There's nothing wrong with crack. It's an amazing high. You'll be in the best shape of your life. You'll probably learn how to dance if you don't know how to dance already.
I think there's an entire decade in America that can tell you what's wrong with crack.
No, there's a lot wrong with crack if you don't have the money. And that decade didn't have the money. They put crack in the hood. Them niggas were broke. But if you put crack into like a gated community with like billionaires, they thrive. Matter of fact, there's documentaries about billionaires doing crack. There's like rich people do crack.
No, rich people do crack sometimes. That part is
Because you
true.
have the money.
But I'm telling you that the rich people who do crack, that once again, we're talking Venn diagrams. That Venn diagram
It's
of
very-
rich people who do crack and rich people who actually end up going to jail is way tighter
Oh, for sure.
than people realize. Like the Jordan Belforts of the world are the ones that get really rich and do crack.
Oh, you're saying so if I started doing crack as a rich person, I'd probably end up in jail.
Because you would finally, you wouldn't go to jail for the crack. You would finally have an idea that is so fraudulent that like the SEC is like, we have to do something.
Like the crack makes you think of bad things to do.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
And I'll even pitch you this. Even if you have the
It's
money.
the best counter, by the way, I've ever heard to this idea. And I've told millions of people this idea. I feel like
I'll even pitch you this. When you have
I
crack
think
in
it's
your
possible
system.
they're just not engaging with you, Eagle.
It's like,
You think it's possible that you're like, I'm going to be so rich and then I'm going to do crack, and they're like, okay, all right,
yeah.
that sounds good. I got to get away from this guy.
Josh is the first person to care. He's like, well, this is why you shouldn't do it. Eagle.
This is, I guess, here's where I'm coming from, right? Is that even when you, and I've never done crack, so I don't know, but even when you're coming down from the crack and you know in the back of your head, you have more money for the same amount
For
of
more
crack,
crack.
or maybe a little bit more
Yeah.
to get a little bit better of a high
Sure.
or maintain the high that you have. I think that there is something that happens in the brain when you're addicted to drugs that tells you, yes, we have the resources, but what if we didn't? And so then you start acting out in a way that is not becoming of someone with money, but you still do the same stuff.
I
So
think you
rather,
lost me at that point.
rather rich or poor, like Elon in the White House, just like vibing out. That thing right there, that is what a poor person should be doing on drugs. Should be showing up to work. Right? He is
No one should be doing that.
Well,
on
no, I'm
drugs.
saying by the logic that we have of drugs.
Okay.
We're like, these poor people on drugs, they show up to work and they're working at Target and they're like, like as they ring people
I
up.
don't
and stuff
know
like that.
who has this. I don't agree with that at all.
Well, I'm saying when you talk about people who are addicted to drugs and trying to.
Are you trying to say that you expect rich crack addicts to behave in a certain way?
I'm
They're
saying
still crack addicts.
Yeah, I feel like
but I'm
you're
saying,
missing the crack addict part.
No, I'm not missing it. I'm saying that you're like, no, I would have money for more crack. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you would still behave in a way as if you didn't have another dollar for crack.
Oh, I don't agree.
Okay.
There's been famous crackheads who had like millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they just would work their art to get more crack.
One last thing for this story from Ajay, some added context through the email about the dosage. So based off of leafly.com and a well-researched article, 20 to 30 milligrams of an edible. This is considered to be a high dose, recommended only for experienced edible consumers. And she took 200 milligrams.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Which is a dose recommended only if you have conditions like cancer.
Wait a second.
Whoa.
Who was she with?
Her sister.
Her sister let her do this?
I guess so.
That's a bad sister.
I do think, well,
It's a
going
bad
back to what I
system.
was saying,
Yeah.
I don't think that you can be like a fully developed human. You have 30 years of life under your belt. You have health insurance. You have a job. You
You have health insurance?
I do.
Dog,
You're young though.
I'm stupid in comedy, dog. I don't know how any comedians get health insurance. I'm like, what are we doing? How do we do this? Oh, you could just pay for it, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
I should start paying for health insurance.
Honestly, maybe not. I've heard some people make some really good arguments if you're young and healthy
to just not pay for health insurance.
To just not pay for a while. And if you have the means to be able to afford an accident, it actually evens out. It's such a crazy, don't take this advice, guys, but like, it's just such a crazy.
It is. You're not wrong. It's like there's.
If you can afford to pay for a horrible accident out of pocket.
If you could actually out of pocket put into a savings account the amount of money you'd be paying in insurance, when something finally happens, you might actually come out on top.
Yes.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
but
it's that bad.
It depends on your health. Like I don't have the health to do that. I have too many things going on. But my point is, you can't be a functional adult and then do drugs for the first time. You have to do drugs as a non-functioning person first.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I think it rocks your world too much to be 30 and because if you've never done drugs, if you're like me and you've never done drugs till you're 30,
you're not one of those people that want to like do all the drugs when you're 90 just to do it.
No, I think that's fun. That sounds cool.
Well, that's an extreme. I get what you're saying, though.
But like, I never drank, I never smoked. I literally only did the edible as like a treatment for pain, and I've never done it since. But like, it's just too life shattering for a person who's conservative, and I don't mean that politically. It's just you've had total control over everything, and then you're 30 and you do drugs for the first time.
Yeah, it's like the first time playing with AI, but it's in your head.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And so it's like, imagine you're typing all the stuff into AI and AI is pumping out all these images of like what you just typed, all the like text to
in
picture,
your brain.
But it's only in your head and you're doing the prompt and you're seeing the picture and no one else is.
You need a little bit of the lack of fear that you have when you're young to be confronted with what happens when you get high.
What I find fascinating about
time.
her story, and maybe this is just because my brain always goes there when I'm panicking, is she didn't think she was going to die at any point. Like, whenever something crazy is happening to me, I go, oh, this is it. I'm going to fucking die. Like, I don't know why my brain always goes to, oh, I'm going to die.
Oh, geez, yeah.
But for her, she was just like, nah, I just don't got any arms. It's like, what? That's weird. Confident.
Hey, real quick, thank you so much for listening, watching the show and everything. If you want your voicemail to be reacted to the way that one just was, all you have to do is hit us up on patreon.com/WNWY. And we will make sure to prioritize your voicemails in episodes.
And it's a great way to keep this podcast going. It supports me and Josh, but not just us, our producer, Alex. It makes this possible. You want to do one more report?
One more recording?
Can we do one more report?
Yeah, I think so.
This one is a story coming from our reporter in the field, Heather.
Thank you, Heather.
Hey, y'all, from rural Wisconsin, where we have a report of a theft of alcohol, because it's Wisconsin. Officers respond. The person tells officers, hey, my Snoop Dogg gin and Doggo gin is gone. They say, well, who do you think took it?
Yeah, can we pause?
What?
I'm so happy you said pause, Josh.
Yeah,
thank you. Because I froze in my brain, but I wanted to pause. So yeah.
There's a lot to process, but also I want to say shout out to you, Heather, for really taking the reporting seriously.
And shout out to Snoop.
Yeah, for having, what is it?
He has so many products at this point.
A gin. Okay.
Let me look it up.
That's really, I didn't know that he...
Snoop and Shaq, they are just
I was just about to say, Shaq is like...
Shaq is everywhere.
Yeah.
Snoop has a Skechers line. Did you guys know that?
Yeah. Snoop is more impressive to me than Shaq, though. Snoop was acquitted of murder. Shaq was just a basketball player.
It would appear to be called Indago gin.
Oh, that's what she said, Indago.
Yes.
But she did say, is her accent that strong? It sounded like she was saying Snoop. Like
no.
dog?
She said Snoop, and then she said...
Oh, she did say Snoop,
Yeah,
right?
she said-
but the name
she
of the
said
brand
Snoop,
is
yeah.
Indago.
Yeah.
And then I just heard Doggo, but I guess it's
I also don't
Indigo.
know what accent would change
Yeah.
Indago to Snoop. That's wild. What accent would make just whole different words
That's the
come out of
language.
your
That's
mouth?
the language difference.
Yeah.
That's mad funny.
Oh man, my accent stops me from saying grandma and I say abuela.
It's an accent thing.
That's crazy.
No, Snoop's sponsorship is impressive.
Yeah, anything and everything.
Yeah.
Gin and Doggo Gin is gone. They say, well, who do you think took it? He said, my neighbor. Well, why do you think that? And the person says, well, because somebody knocked over paint while they were in my apartment and left footprints going to my neighbor's house. So officers follow the
Can we
footprints
pause
and
real
paint,
quick?
knock on the door.
It's so fitting that we're talking about crackhead behavior in this episode because that is the most Looney Tunes. That's the that like
It's
does not
Scooby-Doo
happen
shit.
in life.
That's Scooby-Doo
doesn't-
shit right
That
there.
is toilet paper on the back of your shoe when you walk out of the bathroom levels of like old vaudeville comedy.
Oh
Ridiculous.
my God.
That's crazy.
That's so funny. Also, the cops first asking, the cops going up to the house, seeing the trail of paint outside the house, and then going in and being like, where do you think your gin went? I don't know. Maybe follow the trail
Yeah.
leading outside of my house to my neighbor's home.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also, I like the way that Heather is reporting because it feels like it's the exhaustion of someone who's been doing this for years and someone who was right behind the police because Heather knows everything that was said, but is also like, yeah.
It's worn out.
Yeah.
Officers follow the footprints and paint, knock on the door. Dude answers the door. And they look down, and he's covered in paint because he's in
That's
barefoot.
so funny.
Covered in paint. It's splattered everywhere. And they talk to him. He's clearly drunk, very drunk, because, again, it's Wisconsin. And, he went to his neighbor's.
It's also so Wisconsin to call the police about your stolen bottle of gin.
And apparently it's very Wisconsin to just be drunk.
Yes.
That's
you don't
why-
know that about Wisconsin?
I had heard that.
More DUIs than any other place in America.
Wow.
Yeah. They are so drunk. They are so drunk. And it's just so small town to be like, someone stole my gin. Can you imagine in New York City? They'd be like, shut the fuck up.
I think if you
Get
called
outta
the
here.
police in New York City to be like, someone stole my gin, they'd be like, are you trying to distract us from a real crime? Like, are you robbing a bank
If
right
you
now?
told the cops like somebody stole my gin in New York City, they'd be like, you should fight them.
Yeah.
Fight them. What are you doing? Why are you calling me?
Did you ever see that video of the cop letting the two people fight?
No, but it sounds like New York.
Yeah, it was basically these two people were having this disagreement. The cop happened upon it, so he didn't, you know what I mean? And the cop just reffed the fight.
Which is fair.
That's so funny.
It's very New York.
It was
Nothing below the belt.
It was like, look, I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds. All right. You just go ahead and like hash this thing out. And when I say stop, you stop.
Whoa. I gotta see that video. That's fire.
And these dudes just like, and I don't know if the cop did it because he could tell they couldn't fight, but they clearly couldn't fight. They missed each other a bunch. And then he was like, all right, stop. Y'all good? Break it up. I don't want to see y'all over here again together. Well, and they went their separate ways.
I have said this time and time again. And I stand by this. I really do.
Yeah.
And y'all both know me. I'm like very like militant, fuck white people, fuck the cops, all that shit. New York, I don't agree with the bashing of NYPD. NYPD is the best cops in the country. They are the best cops in the country.
Really?
Yes, hands down. You've traveled. You've been on the road. You're black. You've been on the road. You've been on the road. Like the cops on the road are actual problems. The cops at NYPD, all they do is holler at girls in Times Square and then solve like real crimes.
What about like you're a little young though. Like what about stop and frisk during like
no,
the
stop
90s?
and frisk was terrible, and that wasn't even in the 90s. That was recent. That was like in like 5 years ago. Yeah,
really?
Well, I think it was like it got
because they brought
2000.
it back.
They brought it back.
Right before Mayor
Yeah.
Adams, they did stop and frisk, and then I think during his thing they've dabbled with it all the time. But stop and frisk is terrible. However, stop and frisk isn't like shooting somebody. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
NYPD is like, we'll annoy you. We're trying to get some girls. Is there a real crime? You know what I mean? Like NYPD is not the biggest police problem.
Well, I think you have to
LAPD is terrible.
You have to prioritize.
Yeah.
In New York. I mean, most places
It's millions
you
of
should
people.
be prioritizing, but like New York cops deal with terrorism.
Well,
Like they deal with.
I think the other issue is that and I've talked about this before, like not to do a bit in front of y'all or anything, but it's like it is very easy to forget that the police are people. So when they don't want to like get involved with a crime that's actively happening, it is because they're like a person. So then the police are basically like, we scared too. So when somebody is like on the subway, peed us out with an axe, and then everybody's yelling for the cops, but the cops texting, they're like, yeah, no, I also don't want to get like a penis on me or cut with this definitely dirty axe.
Well, speaking
right?
of subway, that's the only thing I don't like about the NYPD. I don't like when they wake up the homeless people on the train. That bothers me.
We could go on for
that's
this. Shouldn't
insane.
even be related to their job. There should be a homeless squad of social workers and people who work in healthcare and it's not at all.
Because all you're really doing is like, because that can only happen to a person so many times before they like lose it, and so all you're really doing is like priming a person to lose it on the next person.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, as someone who lives without sleep, I'm constantly on edge.
Yes.
I can only imagine if I was actually in like worse conditions.
Whoa.
Do you know what I mean?
It's so funny. You know how Josh said earlier, like, I know Eagle, you could look in his eyes and tell when he's about to lie?
Maybe you should take a break, bud.
I know Josh, and I
Probably.
constantly, like, whenever, and we and Josh, we don't hang out a lot. You're busy, right? It happens. But whenever we do hang out, I look Josh in the eyes and I go, he's about to snap. I go, and I know it's from a lack of sleep. I know, I love you, buddy.
Why
and I
don't you
know
just
it's
take
from a
like
lack
a month
of sleep.
off the road?
That's the plan for next year is to get more naps.
Okay. I can't.
What?
You got to take care of yourself or you're going to die.
I don't think he's going to die.
You're going to die. This stuff adds up.
You don't think you're building a habit of like a work ethic where you don't sleep?
No, not necessarily, because every time there is a natural break in it from like whatever, not booking or
You
what,
be chilling.
you know, then I'm like
fair.
sleeping and then I'm reading comic books and working on the cube and stuff.
Lit.
Yeah.
Cube.
Yeah.
He's
Rubik's
Rubik's
Cube.
cubing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like Rubik's Cubes.
What the fuck?
You didn't
What
expect
the
that?
actual
Yeah, I like Rubik's Cubes.
Shall we finish the?
Yes. Honestly, I have to get out of here.
And, he went to his neighbor's house because he knows he has alcohol and he just needed to borrow some. Well, here's the problem. When you break into somebody's residence to steal anything, even just something small and cheap, if you're stealing something from somebody's residence you just broke into, that's a felony. That guy got charged with burglary for stealing some Snoop Dogg gin.
Can we pause this?
It's over. It just ended.
I think I have a pet peeve. I think I don't like when people say like obvious things like they're breaking news to the world.
That's kind of what our show is.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know though. I feel like it's not. It was just that one moment where she was like, and let me tell you something. That's a felony.
Well, I think
I was like, I had a feeling.
I think it's just. I think what she's more remarking on is that this is such a small town that a neighbor would break into their neighbor's
think that it
house
was
and be
nothing.
like, "This is not a big
and be
deal."
like, no.
I get what you're
the
saying.
same way that in Wisconsin you get the DUI and you're like, but I was close to home.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, you were driving drunk.
More than I was close to home.
I
It's
get
like,
what she's saying.
Bob,
Yeah.
I live around the corner.
Yeah.
And then Bob is like, bro.
Yeah.
And that's where
Bro,
most accidents happen too.
I have
Yeah.
to take you in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That was great. I loved that
Yeah,
news.
thank you, Heather. I appreciate
what was
you.
It, who was our first field correspondent?
Ajay.
Ajay
thank
and
you so
Heather. Thank you
much.
guys so much. Thank you, Eagle. Is there anything that you want to plug?
Just find me on social media, I guess. Eagle Witt official.
We have to be done. We're done.